I'm telling them that I can't breathe. Clearly he don't give a damn about my plea. His ancestors used to hang us on trees. Today they identify as road police. You see I'm black, for that I'm a threat to America. My rise is their fall and their fall is evident. Blood on your hands is heavier than an elephant. Open up America's closet and see.
To my channel, I'm 20, and this is Reunite Sandy Speaks. Welcome back to my channel, family. Today I'm going to talk about Karmelo Anthony, but I want to begin again by reminding you that Reunite Sandy Speaks is documenting inequalities in America against Black people. That America has broken its promise to Black people under the 14th Amendment. That this country has anti-Black consciousness. And today I want to talk about Karmelo Anthony. And you guys, Karmelo Anthony is very important to me. I think Karmelo Anthony, their case that we need to be aware and involved. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, when Kyle Rittenhouse was convicted of killing 2 people, you see how the other man fought for him. People, I think someone spent $2 million in bail. They supported him. And, you know, I just want to say this properly. I've been dealing with in different environments that I've lost my patience about some stuff. So, I lost my patience about some things. So I want to say this intelligently, but specifically, I want to, tell you my concerns about Karmelo Anthony. I think Karmelo Anthony is an opportunity for us as a people to set precedence, okay? To demonstrate this country's anti-Black. And when we are in any kind of conflict with someone that's not Black, the general consensus is to make us the enemy, or we'll be wrong. That they will work against us, that when we are in conflict with a non-Black person, that we are always going to be on the losing end, okay? I think that's the consciousness and the mentality. And you know, guys, as I sit here and think this, my mind always thinks like, why? I don't want to go into it too deep, but I do think it's egoic. I think a lot of it has to do with hierarchy, people wanting to be better or higher, and via social engineering, consciously, unconsciously, we're just always at the bottom. And it's crazy how individuals will work to harm us, people we don't even know, people that are not even involved. That the general consensus is to work against the Black person. Even the Black people do it. I had a white man who's running for assembly. He's always like being around Black people. In California, he's in the LA district. He's running for assembly member, and he's been trying to, and so he's gone out and tried to learn about, like he's learning about Black people. And he said to me, it's crazy that this man has articulated what it is being Black in this country as if he's experienced it. And I'm kind of, when we talk about it, I kind of get offended, because he even said that in this country, people are against Black people, even Black people are against Black people. He said that to me. And it's the truth. But how do you think I feel as a Black person, a white person telling me this? Italian dude who's running for assembly member and wants to be an assembly member and a strong Black American district. You know what? If you don't mind, comment about down below. Tell me what you think. Anyway, I'm talking about Karmelo Anthony today. And again, this is to document and demonstrate that there is a anti-black consciousness and culture in our country. And I have concerns about Karmelo Anthony. One of the things that I may have said in the previous video is that I tried to find a study about the mental health aspect of Black men in this country regarding involuntary responses and reactions. And I think the part of the brain is called the amygdala. It's where we have memory and emotions. And what it is, first of all, is to be Black. And you guys, I'm a victim of anti-Black hate crimes. I'm a woman. I believe they kill Black men, harm Black women, and steal Black babies at a profit. But I'm not a feminist, and I think the man is he's supposed to be, he has his position as the protector, as the enforcer, as the overseer, as the responsible party for his family and his people. He's a man. And I think that one of the strategies that groups do is they try to emasculate or harm the male, take the head. The man is the head. And I think it's done consciously, and I think it's done unconsciously. I don't think that every white person is prejudiced. I think white people, Christian white people, want to be good people. I think Christian white people want to be good. They don't want to be associated with anti-Black hate crimes. That on the surface, that they're really good people and they're not trying to harm or hurt anyone. But I think when it comes to push and shove, at the end of the day, if they have an issue with Black people, they'll weaponize your Blackness. I was married to a white male for over 23 years. You go to California, commits hate crime. This man who I loved, who's my soulmate, he weaponized my Blackness. He has Black children, and he weaponized my Blackness because he could. And I'm going to talk about the specific video of this man. I think he's a doctor or something, but this is a video that I found of this man, and he's talking about the Karmelo Anthony's case. And I'm going to point out the bigotry and the biasness. And again, before I do that, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to talk about this really quickly. I like Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown, I like a lot. And I might insert his video.
They try to take it again from him. That's a robbery. In other words, the taking of the property of another by use of force or violence. He resisted the robbery, which is a felony, and that would morph the whole thing to killing into a felony murder situation. If you have a felony murder thing, the people who implemented the underlying felony become responsible for the consequences. For instance, if there is a proprietor, a manager, or an employee in a liquor store, and some people come in to hold up the liquor store, and there's a shootout, and one of the bullets fired by the proprietor, the manager, or an employee miscarries and kills an innocent person on the sidewalk. Well, under the felony murder thing, the employee, manager, or whatever is not charged with the homicide. The people who are charged with the homicide are the ones that started the robbery. So in this case, you have a party that starts the robbery. 2, allegedly, you have a killing that results by the would-be victim of the robbery. So what happens is, under the felony murder theory, the person that's charged with the homicide and the robbery is the survivor. In this case, one of the would-be, should-be co-defendants to the robbery, if that's the way the case is cast. The whole thing about the $1 million bond is absolutely ridiculous, because under the 5th Amendment, bonds shall be reasonable, and reasonable has been interpreted for the last 230 years by the U.S. Supreme Court and most appellate courts is meaning simply enough to ensure that a person shows up until the charges are disposed of. No.
But he has been ridiculed because he has spoken against Karmelo Anthony. He said what he was doing with a knife and all this different stuff. And I messaged him, I talked to him. I never disrespect Judge Joe Brown because I admire him. But in this case, he was saying that he was a coward. And our beliefs are based on our experiences. And a lot of it is egoic, is ego. Black people are framed in this country to be violent, aggressive, animalistic. And the story of Karmelo Anthony plays into that narrative. When I first heard about him, the little boy dying, you guys, I'm dramatic and I feel pain. Like cancers, I'm an empath and I feel stuff like deep. When I hear stuff like that, it hits me hard. I feel it like I was the mother. When I first heard about it, it said that he was stabbed to death. It was a kid that was stabbed to death in, I think, Frisco, Texas, and he died in his brother's arms. Oh my God. How can you not? I'm so sorry, guys. How can that not be heart-wrenching? What I think about is his dad, his mother, and his brother. He's going to be haunted with that. Like, it really ruined lives. Then I realize it's a black man. It's a black man who is on the honor roll, who saved the child from drowning, I think, that all indicators indicate that he's a good kid with good morals. And I look at the facts as they are, not bias, not with bias, that he was under a tent in the rain on his phone. And he was accosted by two well-known, I think they were wrestlers. And Judge Joe Brown has been under scrutiny, and it's funny because I got this video of him saying to the contrary. That he said yesterday, oh, only cowards pull out knives. He's no longer a judge. But this is in the judicial system that there are biases. Personal biases based on your experience, your life, your perception. Judge Joe Brown has not spoke in defense of this man based on his own experience. See, when they see these thugs, these criminals, these killers, because they're in every group, and they publicize it, they send these messages, they see you and me. So we are associated with this animalistic, inhumane attitudes and behavior. And me and Judge Brown went back for a while, and I told him, you were one of my heroes. Part of who shaped me, you guys, I love an intelligent person, female or male. And what struck me with Judge Joe Brown, see, Judge Mathis is not like Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown is dignified. Judge Mathis be trying to be hood and cool. Judge Joe Brown is dignified, articulate, and intelligent. And you guys, that's what I love. I remember watching him. I had to be like 10, 12 years old. So I always was enamored with this man. Like, oh, Judge Joe Brown. Like, maybe he was good looking too, so I probably had a crush on him too. But he indicated, in all sense of the word, this was a man to me. And so I recognized, and I said this to him, I think yesterday, I said, this is your personal stuff. When they see this man who I think was of self-defense, killed a young man, they automatically think, oh, you animal, you coward. That's what Judge Joe Brown said. Judge Joe Brown said he was born and raised in South Central, and that the cowards was the ones that pulled out the knives and the guns. And I believe that because they probably was bullied, to keep it 100, you know. But Judge Joe Brown is projecting. He's projecting about the image of what it is to be black in this country. And this is a man that I find to be very dignified, very honorable, have done probably great things for black people. But this is coming from his ego. This is how things are set up against us. Karmelo Anthony probably needs at least $2 million for defense fund. I think it's at $500,000. I'll put his link in here. If you watch this video, please get that boy $5, $10. I'm not even going to talk about the GoFundMe of these other people who up $2, $3, $4 million, and we don't get nothing. We don't help each other. I believe that this young man's case will set precedents. I am hoping that his lawyer used that his response was involuntary, that it was the fight or flight response, and relates to what it is to be a black man in this country. And maybe I'll talk about that later. I'm also going to do a series, I think I'm going to name it like My Brain on Anti-Black Culture, or My Brain on Anti-Black America Consciousness, or something. I'm appalled. When I try to do studies on what it is to be a black man in this country, what do you think black men, I think black people in general were triggered. I think people in general were triggered by George Floyd. Watching somebody put their foot on his neck. However he died, whatever actually was the cause of death, or a police officer putting their knee on a man's neck for how many ever minutes it was, is inhumane. It's barbaric. So what goes on, I think it's called the amygdala, the emotional part of the brain where you have stored memories, unconsciousness. If you are a black man in this country and you see video after video, there's one video where the man's, a police officer tackles a black man down and shoot him in the head. Ahmaud Arbery, my baby who I love so much, Elijah McClain. This is the brain, unconsciousness. When you are being bullied, harassed by white males in this country, is it unrealistic to believe that your brain is going to default to fight or flight? The reptilian brain will protect me, and I'm going to do what is necessary for my survival, because I live in a country that devalues my life, where people intentionally try to harm me, hang me, kill me. Karmelo Anthony's cases should be set precedents. And if you're a black person, you should be involved. You should care. You should send money to help this man. I was in spaces, black people and white people. I'm going to say your name if you see this video. This is God. Like, you guys, I'm cool with everybody. Okay? Somebody say, you be messing with the enemy. I know racist people. I've been to a white man for over 20 years. I know what racism was black. I don't get mad. I'm not moved by it. It doesn't bother me, because I know racism is about insecurity, feeling inferior. So I don't like when I see a racist stuff, you guys, it don't really move me. Okay? But this one guy, he was posting that this kid was using his GoFundMe to buy a house and a car. You guys, some stupid black girl posted that. And I was, okay, what's happening is he done raised $500,000. That was months ago. The needle ain't moved. We got to make the needle move. He needs to get to $1.5 million. I think $2 million, okay? But they posted a line on his boy saying he gonna use the money to buy a house and a car with his family. You see a picture of his family. His family already live in the middle class America. But they lying. They're trying to deter black people from giving money, making up lies. I was in the room. I don't know the lady, the white lady who called the little boy the N-word. And now I don't know her GoFundMe is like $700,000. People in the social media space talking about, oh, she ripping them off. She scamming them. She isn't scamming them. That money they get to her is saying, I got you. If you want to say the N-word, you can say the N-word all you want. Here's $50. Here's $100. I got you. Talking about they scamming. She was scamming. She ain't scamming them. This is how groups of people survive. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, they came all out for him. Because y'all go to my California commits hate crimes and y'all see all the horrific things people did. They charged Puffy with racketeering. What happened to me is collusion, racketeering, hate crime, and the cover up. These are governmental agencies, judges, lawyers, law enforcement. The Commission on Professional Responsibility are all a party to the hate crimes against me. Okay? And so, am I going to believe that in the case of Karmelo Anthony, there's a possibility that he was really defending himself? That's the first thing he said. Let me tell you some of the things that concern me. One of the things that concern me, and I'm going to talk about this because I'm talking too long, it's been 20 minutes. One of the things that concern me is that you can't see the video. They said the video somewhere. I don't know. They said they released the video, but I think only news people can see it. No one describes what actually happened. No one says he did this. He did this without provocation. No. This is how they set black people up for harm and pain. They confiscated all the phone footage. Threatened the people if they leak the phone footage that they will be charged with obstruction. I mean, how many times we done seen video of police harming people or incidents? But in this particular case, they actively suppress evidence so we can't see it. When they actively suppress evidence so we can't see it, you need to get involved. And so I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep going. I'm very egoic. I got good self-esteem. You might even find me a little bit arrogant. I love being black. I don't want to be nothing else but black. I like being black. I love who I am, a black female. But as I got involved and I became a victim of anti-black hate crimes by the state, I started thinking, how did this happen to me? Like, how are they getting away with this? And I'm not of the school, blame them. The other man, he did this. He got his foot on my neck. I got free will. I have the ability to fight for justice. That's what this country's doing. And the reason why we're the low-hanging fruit, because we're not actively fighting against this. And some of you, if your first knee-jerk is to defend what we are, what we've done and how we've done it, please don't do that. Because that's the problem. If we're going to win, we have to work to win. We can't excuse how we failed and what we're not doing right. We have to acknowledge, hey, this is not working. Why isn't this working? And for me, my intellect is a very large portion of my ego, my self-worth, of who I am. And part of me feels like, look, we showing up like we ain't the smartest knife in the drawer. Like we might not be the smartest group. And I recognize that is through what they've done. And family, y'all go to my story. I know what they do. I did everything in life the right thing. And they stole my life. And I know what they do. And y'all, they did it because they could. They did it because they knew they could get away with it. They rallied behind George Zimmerman. What's his name? The guy who killed George Floyd. The killers of the young woman, Breonna Taylor. They rallied around the people that murdered, those two people that murdered Ahmaud Arbery. I gotta do a video that I did I got all the evidence and the information back in February of this woman breaking a baby's legs, black baby's legs in neonatal. A white nurse breaking baby's legs. This is their impulse to harm us, to hurt us. I see videos and stuff on YouTube, Instagram of all these videos of them harming us. When do we spring into action? When do we work in a way that we take the place, hierarchy in this country that we deserve? If your first reaction is to make an excuse and say why we're losing and it's not our fault, that's the problem right there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to tell you that's why I'm here. Karmelo Anthony's case should be set precedence. We need to ensure that he gets off. It's another, I'm going to have to go and look at the other person. It's another person that got off, a white person. And your first knee-jerk reaction is going to think, oh, he going to go to prison. They going to put him in prison. He black. But you black and you don't care. But you black and you just settle for it and it's just okay. Like you guys, I've been in these spaces with these black people, and I ain't even gonna lie, I'm not okay. I'm like, I'm unhealthy because I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what? I'm gonna cut this part out. 24 minutes in. So this video is about how non-black people are party to negatively framing black people. And so I reviewed this video of this man. His name is Dr. Todd Grande, 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 Grande. And this is a compare and contrast. Dr. Todd Grande analysis of a black man accused of a crime versus a non-black American male accused of a crime. So I think an Indian man was accused of trying to steal a baby, and he covered that. And he also covered Karmelo Anthony. And I want to talk about some things that I identified. 35 seconds in, Dr. Todd Grande gives a description of Austin Metcalf. So he speaks highly about Austin Metcalf. 1 minute and 20 seconds in, Dr. Todd states that Karmelo Anthony's decision to sit under the wrong tent is what caused the disagreement. And so I'm an adult. I'm a grown woman. And if we're going to say him sitting under a tent that wasn't his, didn't have his school on it in pouring rain is not a reason to accost or even approach this man. Now listen to what I'm saying. He said what these non-black people are saying is that he was under the wrong tent. But they don't explain to you that he was under the wrong tent to get shelter because it was raining. It was pouring. This is where I have to tip myself because I get incensed. I get enraged. Because this is how much they hate us. And they want to harm us. That they default to BS to justify the harms that they do to us. So Dr. Todd states that Karmelo Anthony's decision to sit under the wrong tent is what caused the disagreement. Dr. Todd Grande fails to explain that Karmelo Anthony's decision to sit under the tent was because of very, very heavy rain. Dr. Todd Grande states Karmelo produced a knife stabbing Austin. He failed submission that Austin assaulted Karmelo Anthony. And it's not really very clear on the actual facts, you guys. and we're not seeing the facts. Everybody at Diddy's trial, but no one's at the. Is anyone gonna go to Karmelo Anthony's trial? God, if someone's interested in creating a fundraiser for him, aside from the one that he has, so we can go to the trial, so we could cover the trial, so we can shine a light on this stuff. Family, they keep on acting like we broke and destitute. They stole millions of dollars from me. I made the right decision every day of my life when I was growing up to have and be, and they took from me. It's professional lawyers, doctors, people in business, people in finance. It's not like we can't afford to finance our freedom, our liberation. This is about civil duty, and this is about the lack of civil duty, and it reduces us to less intelligent than other groups. Jewish people are a lower percentage of the black people. And people say, "Oh, they did this, they enslaved." That's what, yeah. But they have specific ways, values. What word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry from depression, so I forget. They have specific traditions that they follow. In a Jewish family, they work, and the ones who are producing, they give a portion of that to the next family. They work together. It's like, oh, Donald Trump is a Zionist. The Jews, they run stuff on both sides of the aisle. How? Like how? Like this is where the intellect comes in. Why are they able to do this? Does it have anything to do with their action, with their behavior, with their values? And I'm sorry, I'm not a loser, I'm a winner. Okay? So I'm not gonna sit here and say it makes excuses why they winning and we losing. They winning and we losing because of our behavior. And you can get mad and angry about what I'm saying, but it's the truth. And if you are making excuses, we have in this our group, we have strong links and weak link. If you make excuses why they better than us, and it's an excuse, you the weak link. You're one of the links that is pulling us down. I'm not being disrespectful. Don't come. When you want to come for me, go ahead. Just do it because I expect it. I'm suffering from depression and anxiety. They done kicked my ass. I got my ass kicked. I ain't functioning. So I get it. But me not continuing to fight, to function, to be better, is what continues to allow them to win. That when I fall down, y'all supposed to help me get up. And my heart hurts because y'all don't know that. Many of y'all don't get it's me or the next man. And that mentality, I grew up in New York City and I know that mentality. That's the wrong mentality. Our I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm going blank because I'm angry. Our fate is linked. That means what happened to you happens to me. How we work collectively is what's going to end. It's going to determine how we are. What's going to happen to your kids, your grandkids. What I want, and this is my long-term goal, is for us to take the proper hierarchy in this country. And if you have the mind that we can't, that this is their country, this is their system, that's the problem. You come up from a defective brain ideology, and I understand that your brain is it's a malfunction. And don't take it personal because my brain is malfunctioning as we speak. Okay? If you live in specific conditions that we've been living in captivity for 400 years, what do you think is going to happen to the brain? The answer is consciousness. It's to be aware. that they kicking our ass because we don't get down together, that we don't look at the most important things that are going on. For example, people was boycotting Target. Why are you boycotting Target? That was the most ignorant thing I ever thought of. Target has black businesses. Target employs black people. These people that made up some DEI. The reason why they stopped doing DEI because they didn't want to get sued. Target is one of the most like productive in marketing research. Target don't employ black people and carry black merchandise or black vendors to be good to black people. They do it because it's good business. They already were hiring minorities. They were already carrying minority products. It was good business. And then people start suing for DEI, so it was like, look, we don't want to get sued. Y'all are boycotting Target, but they sit here and harm this boy. What's his name? I think I talked about him in the last Karmelo Anthony's video too. Deion Sanders' son. The NFL owners played with him. That was clear racism. But you going to boycott Target, but still patronize the NFL. Family, I'm telling you, they looking at us laughing. They looking at us laughing like poor little black people. Poor little dumb black people don't even know what to do or how to say themselves. You have any rhythm for me? Leave it in a comment. Be nice. You can say nasty. You can say stuff that's against what I'm saying. Because other people are thinking, so I want to address it. So if you don't like what I'm saying, leave it in a comment. Let me go ahead and go through this thing. I'm not going to be able to go to the gym because I'm sitting in my mouth. I'm going to go through this video, and I'm going to link the video below. What I'm demonstrating is how these people consciously try to negatively frame us and make us the enemy. Make us the villain, the animal. It's done consciously. It's socially engineered to make us feel. And for some people, they actually feel less than, lower than. Judge Joe Brown is a well-spoken, intelligent black man, but his emotions make him lead against his own person because he's scared about how he's perceived as a black man. This is what they do to us. This Judge Joe Brown, that was one of my idols. And he messaged me. He said, I'm sorry. He knew I get on him. I talk to him. That's my friend. I do privately. I say, look, this is what I think. And he can't select me, so he emotional. But I know his history. I like to hear him talk, you guys. He's so smart. He knows so much stuff. He just want black people to stay on their own 2 feet. He grew up in South Central. I don't know nothing about that part of Los Angeles. I lived in a suburbia the whole time I've been in California. He grew up in South Central Los Angeles, where he probably saw like perpetual families on public assistance, fatherless homes, and things of that nature. And for some people, they get embarrassed. They try to remove themselves from those people, which is crazy. I laugh because that's our people. They're part of me. I'm that. The difference is the other man, they got the same people like J.D. Vance. They have those same issues. They just promote them. They don't promote them. They don't talk about them. They don't make them be the whatever it's called. They don't, I don't even like saying it out loud. They don't promote that. They have an emotions and a feeling about that thing, about people that live in poverty, people who are not intelligent, people who break the law, people who are drug addicts. You guys, where this thing at? But so they have the same elements of society in their culture. You can see them in San Francisco on fentanyl. They on drugs or whatever you call it. I think dope. I don't know what to call it. Heroin. They don't, or they're not educated. Um, it's a book or a movie about J.D. Vance. He came from that. And the difference between them and us is they don't promote it. They don't say, oh, like, oh, this part, you guys, this really make me mad. This stuff makes me mad. Yeah, I was born to a single mom. Y'all don't get mad at me, okay? But I'm just telling you the truth. I was born to a single mom, and I'm the first person that graduated from college, and I am now running a multi-million-dollar company. I'm self-made. Um, you guys, this is me. This is my mental state because I'm angry and I'm hurt about everything that happened. That's our story. That is not just our story. I was raised by a single mom. I'm smart. I did well in school. I graduated. I made something of myself. I bought a beautiful home. I put my kids in college. I raised an intelligent daughter. But they make that the story. And in the case of J.D. Vance, they did the same thing. And in part of the movie, you know, America's elitist. They try to make him feel bad about being where he came from, just like they do us. But they don't promote it. They don't highlight that about them. It was a white lady on a video on that's what I was talking about, but I ain't said it yet. It was a white lady on the video, and she was twerking on top of a car was moving. And this girl, her name is Reparation something on Instagram. She was like, "Why I don't never see this? Because they're not gonna repost that. They're not gonna repost a white woman on top of a car twerking. White people ain't gonna promote that kind of behavior and attitude. But when you see these negative videos about like baby mamas or fighting or people speaking recklessly or unintelligent or aggressive or sexualized, who promoting that stuff? Then you gonna point to the other man and the other man did it. Who's promoting it? Who's pushing that on the video? I should be talking about this. I'm probably talking about Karmelo Anthony. I'm gonna do a video about that. So, you know, I tend to ramble, so I'm gonna go back to this video about this Todd Grande. I'm gonna finish because I made little notes about this. I'm gonna put his video in the description. But what I want to show you is how he consciously tries to negatively frame this black man. And when you look up anything about Karmelo Anthony, it's always perceived in a negative sense. That enough you are not posting that this boy was on the honor roll. That enough you are not posting that he saved a girl from drowning, I believe. Enough you are not posting that we need to get this young man's GoFundMe to $2 million because he's going to need that kind of legal defense. And hopefully he'll have a good defense team that's going to litigate for this boy's freedom. And I pray to God that they use him being black in this country, and his response was involuntary. That he had a perceived fear. Let me move on. So, okay, so 1.1 minute 20 seconds in, Todd states that Karmelo Anthony's decision to sit under the wrong tent is what caused the disagreement. Dr. Todd Grande fails to explain that Karmelo Anthony's decision to sit under the tent was because of very heavy rain. Dr. Todd Grande states Carmelo's produced a knife stabbing Austin. He fails to mention that Austin assaulted Karmelo Anthony 3 minutes and 10 seconds in. Dr. Grande fabricates the events. 3 minutes, 10 seconds in, Dr. Todd Grande fabricates the events. Austin Metcalf grabbed Carmelo's bag and broke his phone. That was first reported. We haven't seen anything about that. And I want to know why we haven't seen anything about that. 6 minutes, 12 seconds in, Dr. Todd insinuates that Karmelo possesses a knife constitutes that Karmelo was looking for a fight. You see these subjective statements that they make? You know, Judge Joe Brown said that in the room, like what he was doing with a knife. Then his co-host said that a lot of people spoke in Texas and said that it was common for boys in Texas to have a knife. See, I know, boy, because I had a son, but my son wasn't into stuff like that. My cousins had cousins like that. I grew up in the kung fu era, and I was raised with a bunch of boys, so I was a tomboy. So knives, weapons like stars, nunchucks, and I'm a girl. I grew up with boys. Y'all too young to know. The SWAT team, the specific kind of knives, and you know, boys go into stuff like that. My day was like they used to have. We used to have cowboys and Indians, and that might not be politically correct, but that was my day. Boys had a specific hobbies and things that they were interested in. He ran track. Somebody said, I heard, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but he said he may have had the knife for something dealing with his cleats. We don't know. But I'm just really disappointed. Judge Joe Brown said he had no reason to have a knife in his bag on campus. And you guys, you know, boys are like that. You know, I'm gonna put this in my track bag. I'm gonna put stuff in there just to have something to put in there. And this, if you think this sounds far-fetched, but it's not. What I'm saying makes more sense than him just getting mad and stabbing a person for no reason. This boy's never been in trouble. He's on an honor roll. He saved some kid. You can look and see that he's a good kid. But being black in Texas, what has he endured? We finish. 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and Dr. Todd states that Karmelo says, touch me, see what happens. Stating Karmelo invites him to touch him. He says Karmelo wants Austin to touch him, that Karmelo was looking for a fight. You guys, and see, this is how they negatively frame us and they twist what's going on. Touch me, you see what happens. Touch me, see what happens. That's like, what is that actually saying? But let's be real honest. Touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens. What you're actually saying, like, you better not touch me. Don't touch me. That's what it means. See, I'm getting mad because this is how they negatively frame us, specifically how he interprets touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens. Is that he's inviting him, that he actually wants to fight. He's telling him, you better not touch me. Okay? He's trying to say that's the fence in his mind, saying that's him defaulting to the reptilian brain. Let me protect myself. This is the vernacular that's used by kids in this demographic. Touch me and see what happens. That really means you better not touch me. And y'all know that. When in fact Karmelo was sitting under the tent, getting shelter from heavy rain. He was sitting on the phone again, waiting for the rain to stop. Dr. Todd Grande makes an absolute statement that Karmelo was looking for a fight. I'm sorry. Because I started eating peanuts before I started doing these videos. What was I thinking? I'm going to say it again. Dr. Todd Grande makes an absolute statement that Karmelo was looking for a fight. This is why we need everyone to be on board. These people consciously gaslight and falsely frame the story. This isn't an isolated situation. I speculate more Americans than not will actively harm Black Negro persons in a dispute. And they do because they can get away with it. Dr. Todd Grande states being pushed doesn't constitute an imminent danger. Okay. You guys, Dr. Todd Grande, I forgot what he is. He's some kind of doctor. He might be LCSW. He has some kind of license in mental health. He does individual family counseling, I believe. Let's argue this. This is what you do in the court of law. This is what you do as an American. You argue the facts. And enough of us don't argue the facts. Enough of us retreat and give in. He said, when in fact, Carmelo was sitting under the tent. Okay, Dr. Todd Gonde makes an absolute statement that Carmelo was looking for a fight. This is why we need everyone to be on board. These people consciously gaslight and falsely frame the story. This isn't an isolated incident. What else I'm pushing? Okay, just the same. I'm so sorry, you guys. I lost my train of thought. Dr. Todd Gonde states being pushed doesn't constitute imminent danger. And this is a therapist, okay? How is the therapist going to diagnose or comment in an absolute statement? What does it imminent danger? He doesn't. How can Dr. Todd Gonde, and again, this is a doctor in America, going to make a absolute statement saying it doesn't constitute imminent danger? Imminent danger is perceived by the person. Okay? I'm suffering from anxiety and depression. I'm learning about this. I'm learning about it in different books. And one book is different parts of the brain. In one book, it talked about maybe temporal lobe or something when you suffer from depression and anxiety, that you're easily scared. Let me tell you something. And I've had this happen a couple of times. But one time, I was at the gym, and it had closed. It was night. It was the end of the gym had closed. And I was sitting in my car doing something with the door open. Some little man came up to try to flirt with me. And you guys, I almost jumped out of my damn skin. He scared the mess out of me. And you guys, he was so offended. He was looking at me like, you crazy lady, what's wrong with you? He scared me to death. It was dark. We were in the parking lot. And it is probably because I'm hypervigilant, because I'm suffering from depression and anxiety. So I'm probably easier scared. He just walked up to flirt with me. And you guys, my heart was racing for minutes after. I was scared. I kept looking at him. And we had words. I was like, bro, you scared the mess out of me. Then he kind of got offended. And then as he walked away, I tried to please don't be mad at me. You scared me. Like, I could see he was like, what's wrong with you? And I felt bad because you could see I was really scared. He scared the mess out of me, okay? Because it was dark. We were in the car. Someone walked up on me. So you can't. And my reaction to some people may have been an overreaction, but it was a natural, involuntary reaction. So him saying, Dr. Grande states being pushed doesn't constitute imminent danger. He's out of the pocket for even saying that. And the thing that concerns me the most is that he's a therapist. You know, it's another therapist in the case of Wendy Williams. I think I'm gonna write the medical board about these people making these statements online, because I think that that they are violating something doing with their licensing. Okay, because I think that it's wrong for him to make such statements, and with that licensing, with that background, with the expertise, for him to say something like that he was wrong, or I'm looking for the word, you guys. It was careless for him to say that. Dr. Gonde doesn't know what was going on in the tent. Dr. Todd Gonde doesn't know the demeanor of Austin's brother or other white students under the tent. A reasonable person would believe that Austin was the aggressor. Austin was the one looking for trouble. Boys carry knives. Around that age, boys are intrigued with weapons and tactical gear. Notice how this white man perceives having a weapon as looking for trouble. The boy was the aggressor. The boy who was the aggressor engaged a young man seeking shelter in an actual perpetrator looking for trouble, and he found that trouble. Let me say this to you again, because I want you to understand this. Notice how the white man perceives having a weapon as looking for trouble. The boy who was the aggressor engaged a young man seeking shelter in the actual the perpetrator looking for trouble, and he found that trouble. Me doing these videos are very important, you guys. Okay? Please don't think that what I'm saying is you take it lightly. that this is just one incident in America and we can't do nothing about it. That we're black, this is their system, this is their country, and we don't have power. That's cowardly. That's giving up. That's weak. That's lack of intelligence. Because I'm suffering emotionally, you can go to my videos and see I am having a hard time. I'm going to talk about my brain. I know and I get it. But my conscious mind, who knows what it was before I experienced this trauma, know that they're not better than us. That we fought for this country and we have rights. And it's about time that we actually receive the rights that we deserve, that we fought for, that people died, people were raped and killed for us. America has broken their promise to black people under the 14th Amendment, and we need legislation to protect us. We need an acknowledgement that we're not free and we're not equal in this country. And I am taking my time. I've given my life to this because I love black people. This little boy's case should be precedence. And anybody seeing this video need to give him, if you got $5, you got $10, you got to give him something. When you go and you look at the GoFundMe for the other people, they give $5 or $10. You don't have to give 100, 200, 5,000. You give something. Giving something is the civil duty, the value that I value this human being. That I want to make sure this boy gets a good trial. That it's possible that his trial can set precedents in the future. They won't be so willy-nilly to attack black people. Dr. Grande references a witness. What witness? How can he claim what a witness statement stated without naming the witness? This is hearsay. This is what they do, y'all. They be lying. Y'all on the internet now. On the internet, people just tell lies. Like the dude, if you ever watch my video, who you talk about? It's this dude. It's the MAGA dude. And he's smart. And you guys, I mess with everybody. I like it. I'm a little social butterfly. This one guy, and I love smart people. He has a space, and they debate like political stuff, all kinds of stuff, and he's real smart. And I love because he's smart. But he posted this thing saying that Karmelo Anthony used the money to buy a house and a car. And it was crazy. He did it the day he got out of jail. This is how ignorant and stupid they think we are. This is how they think we go for the okie doke. And I like this guy because he's smart. And y'all might think, oh, he the enemy, he the devil, bro. I was raised around white people. And some of them were taught that by their parents. I was married to a person who was raised by racists. Turned him into an alcoholic at a young age. Actually, this person now I'm talking about, he has space about being an alcoholic. So when I am confronted or witness these types of behaviors, I don't take it personal like I don't like you. I was mad at him for a minute. And I told him I was mad at him. But because I like that he's smart and he's a good debater, that I like him. But he was a racist. What he did was racist stuff against us. One of my friends like, oh, you like dealing with the enemy? Nah, I don't make enemies. I don't go out here looking for enemies. I recognize that this person who's racist and wrong, that's all about something else. That ain't about me or you. That's about his upbringing. That's about his lack of self-esteem. That's about him. They use us as a scapegoat to stroke their own ego. I'm very clear about who I am and what I am. When somebody behaves that way, you can rub me the wrong way for a minute. But I am a glass half full kind of person. I see the greatness in people. And when I saw him do this, I was enraged. Okay? I came for him a couple of times. I got over it. And I let it go. And I let it go. I just point that out to them, like, don't be that person. Don't be the racist. Don't be the person that's anti-black. Be that person. And sometimes, y'all see black people get mad, like, oh, they hate us. Like, they be like, why you married a white person? They be like, why you do that? I'm like, I know no better. Let me keep on going, y'all. Okay, Dr. Todd referenced the witnesses. What? See, they be lying. Talk about the dude. I won't say his name. Dr. Todd Garner goes on to say that Austin could have handled the situation better, but there wasn't a situation. A young black man was seeking shelter under a tent from heavy rain. There isn't a law that states students aren't allowed under the other school's tent. This states that he was under the wrong tent means nothing. He wasn't causing a commotion or trouble, only seeking shelter. And guys, what I'm saying it's very intuitive. It's very simple. And why I get mad is because they brazenly make these assertions or frame the situation in a biased, sensical manner. And I'll be offended, y'all. I'm like, what? Anyway, let me keep going. I'm so dramatic. I'm melodramatic. Anyway, 8 minutes in, Dr. Grande final makes fair statements around the situation. This is what they do. They plant biased ideas in Austin's mind, in the audience mind, then make one or two fair statements. Dr. Todd Grande makes a prejudiced statement saying Karmelo had a knife to be ready. To be ready for what? Making a conscious effort to further negatively frame the young black man. Dr. Todd Grande goes on to claim Karmelo had a tough guy attitude, but in the same voice states that Karmelo was crying hysterically. These people. Karmelo even asked how Austin was. Karmelo was clearly afraid. The man, Dr. Grande, is a PhD who does counseling, which is extremely scary that he is showing such bias. He has no idea of Karmelo's past history at the school of growing up in Texas. Dr. Todd Grande is being professionally irresponsible. And you know what, Dr. Todd, if you see this video, I'm gonna file a formal complaint with the ethics of someone, whoever polices you. I'm gonna file a formal complaint about you in this video. Yeah, I am. 12 minutes in, Dr. Todd tries to dismiss the idea of race being a factor, when he in fact demonstrates racial bias against Karmelo. He begins the video by state all the accolades of Austin, but fails to describe Karmelo or his positive attributes. Karmelo being an honor student, also once being recognized for saving a young girl's life. So you guys, listen, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm going to put the GoFundMe in the description, and I'm gonna beg y'all to give him something. Please stop coming from a poverty mindset, act like we don't have enough and we can't do for each other. I'm having a hard time right now, but my God is good and he always show up for me. Life give to the giver and take from the taker. If you see this video and you see the GoFundMe, please give this boy some money. Please. They trying to railroad him. And what I don't understand is how black people be a party to this. Being black in America is an experience. We all have the same experience, regardless of how much money we have, where we live, and our education. They always try to negatively frame us and put us at the bottom of the hierarchy, when in fact we should be at the top because we built this country. And I say this over and over again, they're not better than us. Have we been put in a precarious situation since they brought us here? Yes, but it's been 400 years. It's time for us to take our spot in this hierarchy in this country. And if y'all come get down with me, we could do it. In order to do something, you have to believe it. Again, I am suffering from depression. My brain automatically wants to say, no, it hurts, I can't. And my brain goes to negative thoughts. And because that wasn't who I was raised to be, I know that it's the sadness and the depression. First time I went to see a therapist, she gave me a pamphlet about depression. Y'all, I read this. I believe I was going through problems at work stress, but it was really this man I was married to. Okay, and he gave me this pamphlet about the depression. You guys, I started reading this thing. I was driving home, and I remember looking to the pamphlet in the car, and I was in the car driving. I was looking through the pamphlet while I was driving. And okay, Mom, because I remember where I was at. I was leaving the appointment, and I just remember I was like, and then I actually talked to this guy who I'm married to, who's a therapist, white supremacy. Okay. When I read the pamphlet, I was like, if this is the case, 99% of Black people going through depression. Okay. I don't remember what was on the pamphlet, but it was one of the little pamphlets, and the doctor gave it to me. And when I read it, I was like, damn, this is what depression looks like. This is what creates depression. 99% of Black Americans is depressed. And family, we need to study about our mental health. You guys, I'm reading these books about the brain, and I'm reading it, and I'm really suffering. So I'm putting stuff together, and what I want to do, I like to read, I like to learn, and I know everyone's not like that. So I'm going to eventually put together a series about the brain, about being Black, the brain on anti-Black culture. I think I might title it "The Brain on Anti-Black Culture." And I'm learning different stuff, and I'm going to try to simplify it, like the limbic system, the ganglia, something ganglia, the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, the different parts of the brain. So I'm going to try to, once I learn it all, I'm going to try to learn it and put it in simplified manner. And if immediately you think, oh, I don't want to learn that, oh, I don't want to know that, that is part of our experience in this country, that we have low tolerance, less ability to focus, and one Black guy said this too, and he said, oh, we ain't the one that's got a problem, it's them. I'm telling you what happens to our brain. And because of ego, just like Judge Joe Brown, because of ego, we're not addressing the truth. We're not addressing what's really happening to us because of ego. I'm an intelligent, smart Black person, and I've been suffering. I can't think. I struggle to read. I struggle to focus. When I wash dishes, I'm telling y'all, it's hard to finish them. I have to make myself focus. That's depression. How you compete in a capitalist society if you can't focus? And that's what's happening to these young Black boys. They're being emasculated, they're being harmed. It's the same as being whipped as a slave and being deterred from participating in this country. What happened to Deion Sanders' son is appalling. And you people are still patronizing the NFL, but you want to boycott Target. That's crazy. That's crazy AF. Anyway, family, listen. I'm Tonya, and this is Really Nice Sandy Speaks. Y'all come fuck with me.
They killing us for walking, killing us for jogging, kill us in our homes and fabricating and hiding. Where we had Sandra Bland's and Trayvon Martin's. If when you kill us, your family was a target. If your children was orphans, will you have compassion the next time you approach us? Yeah, we fed up, this is built up. Your city up in smoke, homeboy, we had enough. And I ain't Tyson, riots of violence heighten the climate. I'm saying you smack me, I'm punching you in your iris. Retaliation is prescribed in both Bible and Quran. In the matters of the slang, see an eye for an eye, especially if the Justice Department do not comply.